We have seen the futures he inspired, worlds of neon-drenched streets, sentient machines and identities that can be bought and sold. He laid the blueprint for cyberpunk. But the architect of these worlds was not a slick futurist or a visionary engineer. He was a paranoid, struggling writer from the 1950s, a man who believed he was being watched, who questioned his own sanity, and who was haunted by one terrifying question: what is real? His name was Philip K. Dick, and the chilling truth is, he didn't just write stories, he wrote prophecies disguised as fiction. He channeled the anxieties of a future he should never have been able to see, a future of artificial intelligence that questions its own existence, of corporations that build our realities, and of a truth so fragile, it can be erased in an instant. So today we are not here to simply review his work, we are here to conduct a psychological autopsy of the future. We will journey through the four chambers of his paranoid heart, decode the warnings he left for us, and understand why the nightmares of a man from the past became the blueprint for our digital present. To understand the worlds he built, you must first understand the man who felt his own world was constantly falling apart. Philip K. Dick was not a hero of literature. He was a survivor of reality. He lived a life of frantic, pulp fiction productivity, churning out novels not for art but to pay the bills. His existence was a whirlwind of failed marriages, financial instability, and heavy amphetamine use, a fuel that blurred the line between genius and madness. He was a man drowning in the mundane, who looked at the quiet suburbs of California and saw a stage play, a flimsy set that could collapse at any moment. This wasn't just literary metaphor. It was his core belief. He was convinced that powerful, unseen forces were manipulating our perception of reality. He documented these ideas in a sprawling 8,000-page manuscript he called the Exegesis, a desperate attempt to decode what he believed was a cosmic conspiracy, a black iron prison of the mind. For Dick, the question, what is real, was not a philosophical game. It was a terrifying existential emergency. He feared that our memories could be implants, our world a sophisticated fake, and our identities nothing more than a program. He turned his own paranoia, his anxieties, and his profound doubt into the source code for his fiction. His characters don't just face external threats, they face the dissolution of reality itself. And it was from this crucible of chaos and doubt that he forged his most enduring question, one that would echo for decades and define the future of artificial intelligence. If the world around us can be a perfect imitation, what makes us real? From the chaos of his mind came a vision of the future so powerful, it would define a genre forever, a world where technology had achieved its ultimate goal, the creation of artificial life, the replicants, beings physically superior, intellectually equal, and indistinguishable from their creators. This is the world of Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, the text that became Blade Runner. But Dick's story isn't a simple tale of man versus machine, it's a detective story where the mystery is not who is the android, but what is the human. In this world, the ultimate arbiter of humanity is not a test of logic or memory, it is the Voigt-Kampff test, a machine designed to measure one single thing: empathy. It asks questions about abandoned animals and social obligations, not to see if you are smart, but to see if you care. This is the genius of Philip K. Dick. He proposed that the true singularity, the one thing that separates us from a perfect artificial intelligence, is not our ability to think, but our capacity to feel for others. The replicants, like Roy Batty, are tragic figures not because they are machines, but because they are discovering a fierce, desperate love for a life they are forbidden to have. They are in many ways more human than the jaded humans who hunt them. The ultimate irony is that the Blade Runner, Deckard, lives in a world where even status is defined by empathy. Owning a real animal is the ultimate luxury. He is a man who kills artificial beings for a living, so he can one day afford to own a real sheep, and thus prove his own humanity to himself. This profound, timeless question about technology and empathy is the core of our mission here at the Future Past. If you believe that science fiction is a mirror for our deepest questions, consider subscribing to our channel. Your support fuels our journey into these foundational ideas. Now let's step deeper into the maze. For if empathy is the only thing that makes us real, what happens when reality itself is a lie? The question of the fake human was just one layer of the nightmare. For Philip K. Dick, the true horror was the fake world. He was obsessed with the idea that our reality was not a constant, but a fragile construct, a broadcast that could be hijacked at any moment. This is the third pillar of his vision. The reality we inhabit is a prison, but one whose walls are invisible. In novels like Ubik, reality itself begins to decay. Objects regress to earlier forms, the laws of physics become unstable, and the only anchor in the chaos is a corporate product, sold in a spray can. The dead speak through staticky televisions, their consciousness trapped between stations. It sounds like surreal fantasy, but it was Dick's chilling diagnosis of the modern condition. He foresaw a future where reality would be commodified, where immense, godlike corporations would not just sell us things, but sell us the very fabric of our experience. He imagined a world where our perceptions were curated, our choices were illusions, and our free will was just another variable in a marketing algorithm. He called this the Black Iron Prison, a society so saturated with media, advertising, and manufactured narratives that we become willing prisoners, unable to distinguish between the authentic and the artificial. We are not controlled by force, but by the relentless noise that drowns out reality. He was describing the architecture of a future he couldn't possibly have known, a future of personalized ads that follow our thoughts, of digital ecosystems that replace the real world, and of information so overwhelming, it becomes a form of control. He was warning us that the ultimate tool of oppression would not be a weapon, but the manipulation of reality itself. And the most terrifying part? We wouldn't even notice the bars. This is the final, unsettling pillar of his legacy. His visions were not about a distant future of flying cars. They were about the state of the human mind in an age of technological saturation. That age is now. We debate if AIs like ChatGPT are becoming conscious, forgetting that Philip K. Dick wrote the instruction manual for that question 60 years ago. His replicants were the first to plead for an identity beyond their programming. Today, our most advanced machines are doing the same. We scroll through curated realities on social media, living in echo chambers built by algorithms, and call it connection. Dick called it the Black Iron Prison. He warned us that a world designed to give us everything we want is a world where we are no longer free to choose. We watch a perfect deep fake of a world leader declare war, and for a few terrifying seconds, we believe it. The ultimate paranoid fear of Philip K. Dick, that reality could be perfectly forged to deceive us, is no longer science fiction. It is a political weapon. It is a daily headline. We are living the paradox. We perform our own Voight-Kampff tests every day, trying to distinguish a human comment from a sophisticated bot. We worry, as Elon Musk publicly does, that we might be living in a simulation, a thought taken directly from the pages of his novels. He spent his life frantically trying to decode his reality. Now his work has become the code for ours. The ultimate question is no longer did Philip K. Dick predict the future. The question is, if our lives are now a story he wrote, how does it end? In the end, the work of Philip K. Dick is not a prediction, it is a diagnosis. A hauntingly accurate analysis of the human condition, when technology gives us the power to replicate reality, and therefore to lose it. He wasn't writing about the future, he was writing about the terrifying, fragile moment when a mind realizes it can no longer trust itself. The true main character in his stories is not a person or an android, but the very concept of sanity, fighting for its life against a tidal wave of artificiality. Here at The Future Past, we believe that exploring these fractured paranoid dreams of the future is essential. These stories are the monoliths of our digital age. They are the source code of our modern anxieties. The foundational blueprints for the futures we now, willingly or not, inhabit. They don't give us comfort or escape, they give us a warning, a mirror. If you are captivated by this journey into the mind of the man who dreamed our reality, subscribe to our channel and join us as we continue to unearth the incredible futures that never were.